Federal investigators say the Amtrak train that derailed yesterday in Washington was traveling around 50 miles per hour over the speed limit before the crash. The National Transportation Safety Board says the train was clocked going that fast in a 30-mile-per-hour zone. The crash killed 3 people and injured dozens. CBS News has learned Zach Wilhoit was among one of the victims. He worked at Pierce Transit as an IT customer service support specialist. In a statement, Pierce Transit wrote, "He has always been deeply appreciated and admired by his colleagues and played an important role at our agency. He will be sincerely missed." Our thoughts are with Zach's family, as well as the families of the other victims during this very difficult time. Wilhoit was one of the first ever services, or rather was on one of the first ever services from Seattle to Portland on a new route that was supposed to shave off around 10 minutes. The train was going around a curve over Interstate 5 when 12 passenger cars derailed. David Begnaud is in DuPont, where investigators are sifting through the wreckage.
The FBI is on the scene here in Washington, but we've been told as of now there is nothing to lead them to believe that this will turn into a federal criminal investigation. Really, the only glaring red flag we have is that the train was going 80 miles per hour when it should have been going 30. As of right now, if you take a look behind me, there's a yellow crane that is actually being used to remove some of the rail cars. Most of them have actually already been removed, including the one rail car that was actually dangling off the tracks and over Interstate 5.
Ground crews spent all day and night stabilizing the scene where the Amtrak passenger train derailed during morning rush hour, plunging rail cars off of the tracks and onto the freeway below.
Amtrak 501, emergency, we are on the ground.
Dispatch calls from the engineer captured the terror for the 80 passengers and 6 crew members on board.
Is everybody okay? I'm still figuring that out. We got cars everywhere and down onto the highway.
People were screaming. It was crazy.
Adrian Thompson says it was his first time on a train in years.
And all of a sudden, I just feel a whole bunch of turning and rocking of the train. And I just grabbed onto the chair in front of me for dear life. My laptop went flying. My phone went flying.
You start to see the roof kind of, peel. And you're just like, is this ever going to stop? And it stopped. And when it stopped, it was completely black.
The train had left Seattle, headed for Portland. This was its first run on a faster new route, designed to shave off about 10 minutes. The National Transportation Safety Board says the train was traveling 80 miles per hour ahead of the curve over the interstate, where the speed limit drops to 30. At about 7:34 local time, the train approached the overpass, where one of the engines and 12 cars derailed.
It wasn't easy for the firefighters to get through. They were using jaws of life and different forms of saws to be able to get into some of the crushed cars to get access to people and get them out.
The NTSB will now try and figure out whether something other than speed played a role in the crash.
Is there any indication there was an object on the tracks prior to the derailment?
That remains to be determined. The scene has been preserved, and we will be looking at it very carefully with all of our rail experts.
There is a speed limit sign about 2 miles ahead of the curve to give an engineer an indication that, hey, you need to start slowing down. And actually, as you get right up to the curve, there's another sign that says 30 miles per hour. So did the engineer disregard those signs? Did he not see them? Or is there something other than speed that may have contributed to this crash? The National Transportation Safety Board hopes to interview some of the crew members today, and we will get another update later this afternoon. Chris and Anne Marie.